Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Screen Scene Guru, and I'm coming at you with a full-on movie review. I did an out of the theater review for this, which you guys might have checked out on my shorts on my channel. This is going to be a review for 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, which hit theaters January 15th. It's now pretty much the end of the month, so I feel like it's time to do a review for the movie. Spoiler review. So let's get into it. I really like this film. I'm actually going to pull it up real quick on IMDb. Takes me a second real quick. Pull up. Let's see. Okay, let's go to this one. Alright, I'm on it. Okay, so like I said, came out this year in 2026, which is crazy to think we're already in 2026, guys. But, going into the runtime, it was an hour, 49 minutes. So, pretty good runtime. It felt actually a little bit, almost closer to 2 hours. But yeah, interesting to see it's rated R, of course, for the graphic violence and the nature of the film. It is a direct sequel to the 28 Years Later, so if you guys watch that, it's going to be pretty good, fun time. If you like that film, some people didn't care for 28 Years Later, so it might not rub you the right way, this Bone Temple. But like I said, as Spike is introduced to Jimmy Crystal's gang on the mainland, Dr. Kelson makes a discovery that could alter the world. So really cool story here. It's directed by Nia DaCosta, written by Alex Garland, who did Civil War. He also helped with, I believe it was Warfare, which both of those movies were really good. And yeah, starring Jack O'Connell, which is a really big star from Sinners, of course. He's really fantastic in Sinners and this movie as well. Yeah, I really liked all the people in the film. I thought it was a fantastic story. Probably some of the best Ralph Fiennes work he's done in his career. I watched Ralph Fiennes last year when that Pope movie came out. Do you guys remember that? Trying to remember the name of it. It's like called hold up. Let me look real quick. Let's see. It would be Ralph Fiennes stuff. I know he came out with a movie about Homer and the Odyssey. Yeah, so it comes up like as the first thing. Let's see. Known for his credits in 28 Years Later. The Conclave. So Conclave, I watched Conclave when it came out. Really good film. Didn't watch that cooking movie he did called, let's see if I can find it. It was a while ago, so let me see. It was like a year or two ago with Anna de Armas. Or not de Armas, sorry. It had, I want to say Anna Taylor-Joy in it. I'm not seeing it, but anyway, yeah, he was in a cooking movie that was like a horror cooking movie where the guests got ate, which was that? Oh, The Menu. That's what it was called. I didn't watch that one because I heard it was dumb. But then, let's see, he was in Kingsman, which I also didn't watch that last Kingsman because I heard it was also terrible. But the last couple years, he's been doing really good work. Ralph Fiennes has been trying to get an Oscar. He's probably one of the greatest actors living without an Oscar on his mantle. So I'm hoping that this 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, wins him some awards. They do a pretty cool Iron Maiden song in the movie. going back real quick to 28 years, we do get to see Samson return, the giant alpha from the 28 Years Later movie. We get to see a little bit more of his backstory about that train sequence, and when I guess he was a younger man, people were asking for tickets, and then he all of a sudden came to realize he was just surrounded by zombies. That was a really cool sequence, one of the coolest in the film, probably, when he fought a bunch of zombies, Samson, as like a new cured human, I guess, because Dr. Kelson comes up with this idea of basically introducing a cocktail of meds that wake you up out of the psychosis. So that's really cool. Dr. Kelson cured Samson. And then, of course, Jimmy Crystal's crew, they were basically torturing people throughout the land because they believed that was their right to. They believed it was hell on earth, and that Saint Nick was telling them to do all this stuff. So very interesting. The tagline for the poster is "Fear the New Faith." So pretty cool tagline. Probably was maybe missed on a lot of people if they didn't watch the movie. But yeah, I liked the story. Interesting to see where they're going to go for the third one, because it does end on a cliffhanger with Cillian Murphy. He's got a daughter now in this new community. Looks great. They're talking about schooling, big important stuff. And then, of course, you see Spike and his new girlfriend running over the hill, being chased by zombies. And Cillian Murphy's daughter asks, "Are we going to help them?" And he says, "Of course." And then they start the opening theme music from the original 28 Years Later starts to play in the theater. That's really the main reason why I wanted to go see it. So yeah, it was a pretty awesome story. I'm hoping it makes a lot more money. It's not making too much money right now. Let me look up the box office for 28 years. I spelled years wrong. Y-E-A-R-S. The Bone Temple. Years later, The Bone Temple has struggled at the box office, grossing approximately $43 million worldwide against its reportedly $63 million budget. So, hasn't quite made enough money. It's made I think a third or half of what 28 Years Later made. So it is struggling a bit in the box office to make that money. I think it's because not a lot of people recognize the importance of the franchise to horror. If you didn't grow up on 28 Weeks Later, 28 Months Later, those films, were very interesting at the time. Now, we're in a different time, obviously, where box office isn't doing so well. And I reported in my last video that Return to Silent Hill isn't doing so well for that franchise either. Lowest grossing in the franchise history. But, looking at the numbers right here, worldwide gross, $46 million. So that's okay compared to, the $63 million budget. So, but it looks like domestically it made $20.9 million. And then internationally it made 25. So a little bit more than domestically. But at both these places, it just didn't make enough. It's still playing in theaters, so hopefully it's going to make more. But yeah, let's look real quick on Rotten Tomatoes. Does it have a Rotten Tomatoes score? It doesn't. It has a 7 out of 7 stars, or 7 out of 10. Yeah, it's 7 out of 10. So that's a medial, antiquatical, amount. I thought all the child actors for Jimmy's crew were cool. There's some very disturbing, tense scenes with them being tortured or them torturing other people. Alfie Williams, Spike, had a great performance. He was really scared most of the time. So I was kind of hoping he would, have the gumption to fight back or do some stuff. Maybe they'll do that in the third movie because he's a little too young to be fighting back. still too traumatized. But Erin Kellyman, she had a really great performance in this. She was also in the Disney Plus show Falcon and Winter Soldier. She played one of the Flag Smashers, and then she was also in the Willow TV series that Disney canceled. They basically tried to get rid of it. She's way better in this than in either of those projects. So if you're a big fan of Erin Kellyman, check her out. But yeah, that's pretty much all of the main cast, and of course they don't have Andrew Taylor Johnson wasn't in this film. I'm not sure if that's because he's shooting other stuff or he's going to show up in the third film, but it was very interesting to see Andrew Taylor Johnson not here. Real quick, let me go into some movie notes for y'all. I already discussed all of this, but real quick, I will say that Matthew Lillard, because he was just in this Daredevil Born Again trailer, if you guys seen that, his company is releasing a very special ghost-faced bottle of vodka for the release of Scream 7. It's going to be available to purchase on his website on February 9th, so there's really cool themed liquor. I've seen on Harloff's channel. If you're a friend of Christian Harloff, highly recommend you subscribe to his page. He had Matthew Lillard on back in 2025 for his channel, and he actually talked about Dungeons and Dragons themed booze that his company was making, exclusive booze like bourbon, stuff like that for Dungeons and Dragons folks. Now, of course, he's moving on to the Scream franchise, his iconic bread and butter, and selling a Scream Ghostface booze, vodka. So that's pretty fun to see, for adults that like that stuff. Going on, we've got Rotten Tomatoes shows our first look at Henry Cavill as Highlander, so that's really cool. We heard Drew McIntyre was supposed to be starring in that as well. We haven't seen our first look at him because he's in Saudi Arabia for Royal Rumble. But yeah, cool look at Highlander's first image. It's like in a church with Henry Cavill and the sword. So that's cool. I haven't seen the Highlander movies, so I'm not sure what the lore is there, besides they're immortal and battling each other. Wonder Man hits on Disney Plus. They're saying it's pretty good. I haven't seen any marketing for it, so I'm kind of interested to see what this show's about, Bridgerton Season 4 has apparently been announced from Netflix. I'm not sure if it's airing right now. It was just trending online, so I just wanted to bring it up. Bridgerton. Then we've got our first look at Paul Dano has come out to the public, claiming that he's grateful actually, for the world standing up for him when Quentin Tarantino's insults spread throughout the internet and the world. A lot of people immediately came to the back of Paul Dano and supported him. So now he's thanking all of his loyal fans. I really like him. I think he's a good actor. Let's see. Maddie Paquelin. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right, but he was from Homeland. He played a pretty good agent in Homeland. Maddie Paquelin. He's been cast as Odin in the live-action God of War from Prime. So that's really cool. We've also got Ulfar Dari Olafsson. He was cast as Thor. He was in the Severance show. So they're getting people from iconic television, things that have been done before, to be in this God of War series, which is really cool. I'm not sure. Quick. Okay, I'm back. I'm not sure how well this will show up in the light because. What the fuck? Okay. Try to make this as big as I can for the screen. But here are our confirmed actors and actresses for the role. We've got Thor, or not Thor. Yeah, we got Thor. We got Odin cast. Not sure if you guys can see, but we got Kratos. We got Freya I believe Freya is going to be cast as well, and one of the douchey gods from Asgard that prevents people from going in there. So really interesting there. Pretty much five people casted. So that is cool. Quick, I'll turn the light on again. So yeah, that news is very interesting. Them casting pretty much almost all of God of War except for the son, I believe, Atreides, whatever his name is. He needs to be cast still. Let's see. Tedlasso gets renewed for season 4, so that's going on. And then apparently Tom Holland wrote a letter to the crew of the not Amazing Spider-Man, but Spider-Man 4, which is Brand New Day, and he gave them hats and jackets on set for the film, which is really cool, really awesome. You know, in the last couple of years, these studios that have been making films, they've cut back a lot of the swag and materials they hand out to the cast and crew because they feel like that's an expense that they don't need to put money into. But it's really important to give the fans and the people making the stuff some kind of a bit of swag, a bit of, stuff to show you care. That's a big thing, especially for Tom Holland and Marvel. Marvel typically tries to keep this tradition up, but a lot of other studios have lost it over the few years. So it's cool to see this happening. And then, of course, we got John Rambo in production now, getting ready to start shooting. That's the prequel to the Rambo series. ICE funding has been blocked by Senate Democrats and some Republicans. So due to the Minnesota crisis and stuff going on in the country currently, the affairs of Border Patrol, DHS, they are, of course, talking about pulling funding and that looking like a government shutdown in loom again. We're not sure exactly, but big trending news, Nickiminaj was recently at the governor's or president's speech, I guess. She got her official Trump gold card, which makes her an official U.S. citizen as well. I know a lot of people have been petitioning to get Nicki Minaj kicked out of the country. Well, now she has her citizenship through this Trump gold card, which I believe she's the first to get one. And then Saudi Arabia built an entire stadium for WWE for the Royal Rumble in just 23 days. So that's really cool. A feat of engineering from Saudi Arabia. It goes to show if you have a whole country supporting your cause, you can get a lot done in a relatively quick amount of time. Okay, so going on from here, just got a little bit left, guys. Notes. Just want to update the channel. For all you listening, thank you very much. Our first look at the Beatles. 4-part biopic starring Paul Mescal, Harris Dickinson, Barry Keoghan, and Joseph Quinn has also hit on the internet. I'm not exactly sure how well I can show off photos, but here's a look of them. Yeah, not really coming up too well because of the light, but let me see if I can maybe blow this up a bit. They do look a lot like each other compared to, the lighting can't really show it, but really cool that they have, casted the 4 Beatles for the 4 film biopic happening in 2028. So it's probably going to be shot sometime between now and then be released consecutively, because they said this would be like television for movies, one after another being released. Then we've got Heart Eyes, if you guys were a fan of Heart Eyes, which was a horror film released around Valentine's Day. Apparently they're doing Heart Eyes 2. The script has been done. It's complete. It's just ready to be shot. And I think they're getting a new director. The Thing, Karate Kid, and Clueless all have made their way to the National Film Registry, which is going to preserve them. They're basically, a film group that preserves film throughout time, important cinematic history. So the fact The Thing was able to get on there, John Carpenter's The Thing, was pretty shocking, but they are in fact including it because of its importance to horror and cinematic, all the things they did in that movie. Karate Kid, I understand why they did that one. Clueless, I also understand why they did that. the Department of Damage Control, which is the new kind of face of S.H.I.E.L.D., if you will, in Marvel. They've been showing up quite a lot in different projects. They were just in Wonder Man. Apparently, they're going to have a big presence in Spider-Man 4, Brand New Day. And apparently, Tremel Tillman, which I did a video on, if you guys watched my channel, I speculated, and as a lot of people did, that he would be our new Norman Osborn in our Green Goblin, which would be really fantastic. He's also a Severance actor. Well, apparently now they're saying he's going to play the new director of the Department of Damage Control, which I thought was very interesting. They didn't rule out he could be playing Osborn still. And we could see him maybe acquire technology there at the Department of Damage Control. That could be their Oscorp. Really interesting stuff. Not sure if they'll do it, but I'm kind of rooting for it. So, yeah. And then the Rambo prequel movie starring Noah Centineo. He was an actor in the infamous movie Warfare. If you guys watched Warfare, he's also been in TV, I believe, but he was in that movie. Really good stuff. Apparently they're going to start filming this movie in Bangkok, so that's really cool. Location to shoot it. With the Sisu director, Jarmai Highlander, I hope I'm saying that right, but Sisu is awesome. It's probably one of the best franchise action wartime setting franchises ever. I really like that franchise. It's also kind of done in the same vein and line of Nobody and the John Wick films, because all those movies kind of have the same kind of tone. They're going back further in time and older guys fighting. But the fact that they're doing Rambo now is like really cool. I think that could be successful for them. What do you guys think of all the movie news, all the stuff happening in the world? Let me know down below. You can like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can comment down below and also share the video if you like. I also recommend you guys support my channel on Facebook, TikTok, Threads, at Scene Screen Guru. I'll contact you guys individually if you do. But until next time, guys, it's me signing off. Bye-bye. Have a good one.